Good evening, good evening, good evening, John and
Hi, Michelle. Hi.
Michelle. Good evening to you all. Thank you for joining us tonight for the Satsang. With so much turmoil in the world, I think it's important to find a little oasis of peace in our lives and in our weekend before we start the new week. So welcome. And we'd like to know who we are talking to.
So please tell us where you're from and that you're here. It gives us a sense that we're not sitting speaking to a screen. So it'd be nice if you can tell us. I think we're a little bit early.
Yeah.
Actually, maybe a minute early.
We're a bit earlier tonight. So what's it? The early bird catches the worm.
Something like that, yeah.
Except the vegetarians won't be happy with that one.
Hello, Paula. Nice to see you. Oh, she's in Portugal.
Portugal. Okay,
so
you're in Portugal.
Gone. Wow, that's a huge move.
Yeah. Hi.
All the best for you. Big new start there.
Yes. Welcome, and thank you for your hearts. Thank you for your hearts. That's beautiful. We appreciate getting the hearts, and we appreciate getting your comments. Cecilia, hi.
Good evening. Hi, Cecilia.
Yeah.
Good to see
and
you.
We also ask you if you can press the share and the like buttons, because it really does help get the satsang out there to a broader audience. Who is that? Krish?
Yeah, Krish.
And Diane. Hello, Diane.
Always good to see our community on
Yeah.
a Sunday.
Yeah.
Good little reset. Hi, Jen.
From Naisna, beautiful part of the world, Naisna.
Yeah, hi, Jen. Nice to see you here with us.
Yeah. And although we do this for ourselves because we like being centered in this space of peace, it's also important to realize that, we're doing this work for ourselves, but we're also doing this so-called work, which isn't work at all, for the broader community. And there is a light that goes out from our intention to be here. And that light is a definite positive energy in the world. It definitely is. So, if you could see the earth from outer space, you'd see these pockets of light and light energies going out from sessions like this all around the world. And it really does make a big difference. We are powerful beyond belief. And I believe that the new earth is not being done to us. We have to participate in the process of awakening. And this process of our personal awakening actually influences the evolution of humankind at this time. So it is, I believe, important and valuable to do this work, both for an improvement in our own personal experience and lives, but also for the planet as a whole. So thank you for being here tonight, and thank you for all the hearts. Thank you, Christine.
Thank you.
That's lovely. Thank you. From a warm UK, from Friederhoek. Sonia, thank you.
Beautiful.
Thank you. Yeah. So let's start this evening with just a small, short, centering meditation. And meditation means just to clear the mind. There's nothing too esoteric about meditation. It's just to find a bit of stillness within us. So meditation, we always light a little candle here on a Sunday, and we have a few sacred objects on our desk here. It helps center our awareness, and you might like to do the same at home. So just see that you're comfortable, that you've made arrangements not to be disturbed for the next little while, and settle down. And you might like to gently close your eyes. You don't have to. If you've got a candle, it's good also just to gaze at the flame of the candle. That's very centering, very peaceful to do that as well. Just center your focus into the present moment, into the here and now. So let's just settle into our bodies, withdrawing our mind from all the events of the day, withdrawing our mind from the story about our life, withdrawing our mind from all other times, all other places, and just resting in the only place that exists right now, which is the present moment. And let's start out by focusing our awareness on the breath, the sacred breath of life. And we take a very deep breath into our bodies, pulling the air right the way down to our diaphragm, and then a beautiful long breath out. Try and make the out-breath twice as long as the in-breath. Take a second deep breath in. Conscious breathing is a powerful way of centering the focus of awareness in the present moment. Take a long breath out. Now just let it go, let it go, let it go, let it go. Take a third very deep breath in, pushing your belly button out like a big ball, not breathing from the shoulders, but breathing from the lower diaphragm. And then sigh it all out with a long releasing sigh of gratitude. Thank you, breath. You've done your work. Thank you. And then we trust that the next breath is there for us and we bring the new air into the body again. Now we hand over this process of breathing to the intelligence called life. We don't have to be responsible for it. We've done a few conscious breaths and that's more than enough to bring us into alignment with the present moment. And now we hand that breathing back over to this incredible intelligence that beats our heart, that digests our food, that oxygenates every single cell in our body every moment of the day and night. That intelligence we call life. You can give it many other names, but life is a lovely name. And we allow life to look after all the metabolic processes in our body while we center our awareness in the here and now. Becoming acutely aware of what is coming into our awareness in the here and now. So we're aware of the chair we're sitting on. We can feel the pressure under our bum, maybe against the back if we're leaning back into a backrest of a chair. Maybe we can feel our feet on the floor or hands resting. Become aware of where they are touching right now. Become aware of the temperature of the air in the room on your cheeks. Become aware of any sounds that are entering your eardrums right now. You don't have to label anything, just be aware of the sounds. Now just be aware of the stillness underneath the sounds. There's a primal stillness. It's always here. The sounds come into that space of stillness and they leave. Without that background of stillness, there wouldn't be the perception of hearing. Become aware of your body now, any tension you're holding in your body, any organs that are uncomfortable, any tension in your spinal cord or spine, any tension in your shoulders, just relax. You can use the out-breath to deepen the relaxation process. So as you breathe out, if there is a particular area of tension in the body, just release it with the out-breath. Telling the body that, yes, thank you, I'm aware that there's some pain or discomfort there, and I just breathe it out in this moment. Becoming aware of your forehead right now. Are you carrying any tension there? Any worry lines? Smooth them away. Relax your jaw and your tongue. Just become centered in this place, here and now, on this lovely Sunday evening. Become aware of the preciousness of life in this moment, the privilege it is to be aware, and to be aware enough to actually participate in this satsang this evening. That does take a certain level of awakened consciousness to be here. There are many other activities that the mind would rather be doing right now, and yet you have chosen to make the inner work more important than the activities in the outer world. Become aware of your hearts right now. Become aware of the the rhythmic muscle contractions of the heart and the flow of blood around the body that enables us to have this human experience. But right in the center of the heart there is a sacred chamber of connection with all of life. From this place in the middle of our heart, we connect directly to the field of all life. And while the external world distracts us with our mental activities and perceptions, we use this sacred time to reconnect with that inner peace, that inner stillness within our hearts, honoring the being rather than the doing. And we feel from our hearts a connection with all of those on the satsang. We feel a shared experience, a shared field of connection, which is love. And we take this shared experience of connection, this field of love, and we intentionally radiate it out into the broader community, to our friends and family. Anyone you might feel a little bit of conflict with at the moment, just embrace them in this field. You'll find miracles unfolding if you do this practice. Problems, conflicts will dissolve, more than likely dissolve. And we spread this radiance of connection to encompass the whole of Mother Gaia and all who live on planet Earth. We do have a magnificent jewel in the cosmos to call our home. We are very blessed to be here on this beautiful planet. And we thank her for her abundance and the gift of life. We consciously, intentionally radiate this light from our center of our hearts, dispelling all the despair, any anxiety, any fear in the world tonight. And we ask for those beings that care for the earth, that surround the earth, for their help in raising the consciousness of mankind and easing the pain and the suffering on this planet. And we ask knowing it is given. As we ask, so it is done. Feel a little lightness in your face and your muscles around your mouth. Feel a little lightness in the muscles around the eyes. Feel a lightness in your face. You might like to feel a radiance of joy in your body in this moment. The feeling of joy is so powerful at dissipating the confusion and the darkness on earth. Joy is such a high frequency. And as we feel that, as we choose to focus our awareness in that field of energy, so we become the change we wish to see on this planet. Now take another very deep breath in, blowing your tummy up like a big ball, and then a beautiful, very long breath out, just letting everything go, dropping your shoulders, letting go. And gently, when you're ready, softly open your eyes. Just see how you feel in this moment. You feel a bit more sane, a bit more peaceful.
That was lovely.
Thank you.
Welcome, everyone.
Thank you. Hello, Michelle.
Hi, welcome, Michelle.
Yes. Hi, folks. Yeah, we'd like to know who we're talking to. So if you haven't let us know who we're talking to, just enter your name there and tell us where you are from. And thank you for all those hearts. Aren't they beautiful?
Thank you. Yeah, they come drifting up our screen.
They drift up our screen.
It's lovely.
Not too sure if you can see the hearts.
I
Can
don't think so. I
they
don't
hearts?
think they can, but we can.
If we can, yeah. Welcome. Hopefully you've had a lovely, restful day today, Sunday. We went away for the weekend.
We did. Into
went
the
to go and
mountains.
look at a beautiful farm near Swellendam in the mountains. Wow, just beautiful, beautiful.
Stayed
My
forever.
goodness me.
Yeah,
Sure,
mountains are
absolutely
quite
beautiful.
sweet,
And we
yeah.
met such an amazing group of people.
Yeah.
Sure, there's such an awakening taking place on this planet. It really is. And there's some beautiful people. You know, the news and the media focuses on all the what's wrong with the world. But when you meet a group of people like this, it's just so heart-opening and rewarding to spend some time with people who are so wide awake. Beautiful.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Welcome.
So hopefully your weekend has been as good as ours.
Yeah. We've got, I'm not going to do a lot of astrology today, but there is a powerful thing happening. It's not something that I follow too closely, but it's the Lionsgate Portal, which happens every year on the 8th of August, the 8th of the 8th. And 8's a very powerful number, but it's more numerology than astrology. But it is a powerful portal, they reckon, from the 5th to the 8th. And it's also the sun is lined up with Sirius. So it's about brightness. It's about opening a portal to bring light in. So I think this is a pertinent day to discuss what we want to discuss about finding the calm in the midst of the storm. So if you look at the 8 and you look at it on its side and right in the middle point, that's kind of the center of the storm. And I think that that's pretty accurate for the times that we're in, because there's also still that hurly-burly kind of quite wild energy out there as everything shifts and everything changes, and so many people we know are in flux and in uncertainty and not sure where to go, not sure what to do next, because everything's changing so fast. So we both felt that tonight it would be really good to talk about just how do we keep our center in that, and also, and by doing that, how do we then spread that light that John was talking about? How do we add to that? How can we be more conscious in the face of all of this change and all of this, for some people chaos, for some people fear, for some people anxiety, because the unknown is, we like to know what the future is going to hold, and we don't know what the future is going to hold. So the more we place our attention on the outside, the more we're going to suffer. So that's what we're going to talk about tonight. So I think it's quite apt with this Lionsgate Portal. Tomorrow's the day, and they say that it's quite a powerful day to manifest. And I would say just to really open, so this is a really good night to do that, to open a portal for that light, for us to be that little spark of light in the universe. And whenever we get together as a circle of people, no matter where we are, no matter how far apart we are creating an emanation of light. And the more of us that are doing that, the more light there is on the planet. Yeah,
it's a time of amplifying our intentions. So just be mindful of where you put your focus, where you put your thoughts, where you put your emotions. And it's to have the intention of what it is you would really love to see in your life and in the greater world. Most of the time, people are very much caught up in what they don't want to see in the world, what they don't want to feel in the world. And at this time, particularly on the 8th of the 8th, there is an amplification of our intention.
Yeah.
So it's to be aware of your thoughts and your feelings at this time, and rather invest that energy. And it's a powerful energy. The thoughts we think and the feelings we feel are such a powerful energy. Focus them in the direction that you want to go. Focus them very wisely, not only for yourself, but also for the whole of mankind. And in this exercise, we can learn from nature. If you think of a hurricane, it's a swirling mass of chaos and clouds. And yet in the center of that hurricane, there is a point of stillness, a point of quietness. And as we start to focus our awareness on, for example, in this case, maybe peace, we become that eye of the storm. And as we build up that that centeredness of peace within ourselves, because the universe is built holographically, this centeredness and this peace that we are creating in our awareness within this physical form, that actually goes out and manifests in the whole holographic reality, changing the entire hologram. That's how powerful we are. And it doesn't work in like a set of dominoes, this dominating, that domino. When you work with fields of energy, you change the entire field in one moment. So as we individually join with the collective intention to focus on peace, for example, so we are having a profound and a very, very real effect, not only on our own lives, but also on the entire cosmos, because the entire cosmos is going through an upgrade at this stage. So this is a very, very powerful state, not only for the earth, but for greater regions in time and space.
Yeah, and I think also we can choose to see chaos or crisis as crisis, or we can choose to see it as an opportunity to really awaken.
Yeah.
Because it is. So when we're pushed against the wall, when we don't know where our next move is going to be, when we don't know what's going to happen on the outside world, it actually brings us our focus away from that, and it brings us within, because this is the place where we become peaceful, and this is the only place actually that we have any control over. We don't have control over the outside. So the more we focus on the storm, we just need to know that we're just going to be adding to the suffering. So it's to see the storm. Yeah, you can see the storm, but to actually choose where you want to stand in the storm. So do you want to, another thing we've often spoken about is the wheel. So where do you want to be? Do you want to be on the outside of the wheel? Because it's pretty hairy on that one. Spinning really fast, and we might spin out. So where do you want to be? You want to be on the inside, right in the middle of that wheel. So you're completely aware of what's going on. You're not walking around with blinkers on, not prepared to see anything. No, I'm not prepared to look. I'm just in the light. No, you're seeing it. You can see what's happening, but you choose where you stand in that wheel.
Yeah.
That's, and that's where we contribute to that ripple that John's talking about, that light ripple. And this is a very powerful time to do it. I mean, astrologically, it's incredibly powerful. And then aligned with all these numerological alignments, it's almost like it's all here. And it doesn't have to be an outside event, because very often we look and we say, but what happens, We have these portals and nothing happens, but we don't know that. We can only say that, yes, if you're in the middle and you're actually spreading light, you are spreading light. You are emanating, you are rippling, you are amplifying that light. And so it's every single moment that we have the choice to go into that chaos, to actually literally walk into the storm and get taken away by it, or to not do that. And to be the awareness that sees the storm.
And to realize that we have the conscious choice in that decision. So many people believe they're just a victim of circumstance, and if the wind blows this way, well, then they go that way. But we don't. In each and every moment, we have a choice as to where we put our thoughts and where we put our feelings. We have that choice. And depending on what we choose, do we choose thoughts and emotions from the basket of fear, or do we choose to invest rather in the basket labeled love? That is a conscious thought, but the only time you can make that choice is in the present moment. When you are caught up in the stories of your life, when you're caught up in the past and the future and who said what to whom and what's going to happen, you're not choosing your thoughts. Your thoughts are coming in from old pre-programmed patterns running in the subconscious mind, those old tapes playing over and over and over again. And I love the analogy of the bicycle wheel, and if you can think of that bicycle wheel on the surface, on the rim, there, and it's spinning, there's ridges and bumps and stones, but right in the center, if you think of no matter how fast that wheel spins, right in the center there is stillness, there's peace. And Gandhi said you have to be the change you want to see in the world. So if it is peace in the world that you want to actually physically see in the world around you, start to consciously invest in that in yourself, in your moment-to-moment activities in the world. While you are doing, make being primary. Make being and being is peace, by the way. When you're aligned with your beingness is peace. Bring your awareness back into that center of the hub in each and every situation. If you're having a conversation, step back into that peace. Don't make the strategizing of what's going to be said next your high priority. Just make listening, just being the empty space to hear what the other person is saying. And in that, you become that frequency of that vibration of peace, which ripples out, as I said earlier, into the whole hologram.
And then we're basically transcending those polarities. We're transcending them. That is what ascension is, as far as I can see. That's what awakening is, when you transcend it. And you don't transcend in one foul swoop. You did one little by little. In this moment, I choose to not react like that. In this moment, I choose not to walk into the storm and create more of a storm. Just in this moment. And then if I do walk into the storm, I can actually choose to withdraw myself and go back into center. And I think that the more stormy it gets out there, the more we realize that we have to find a deeper way. And we've spoken about this for a long time. But we have to find something deeper. Because if we don't have that, we're literally being buffeted by the storm. I remember, I used to know quite a few hang glider pilots, and one of the guys actually took off one day and got caught up in one of those clouds, which looks all lovely and fluffy and wonderful, but he says when you're in it, it's like you are in the middle of a washing machine. You don't know which way's up. He said you have absolutely no idea where the mountain is, where the ground is, and where the sky is. And he just prayed and hoped that he came down, and he did, and he kissed the ground. But that's what it is. It's, they could see the cloud, and if they went too close to it, they would get sucked in, because those clouds actually suck you in. So do you need to go that close? Can you not just see it? Can you see it from a distance and say, yes, I can see it. But I choose to actually stay here and look at it and observe it, because I don't really feel like getting tumbled around.
Yeah. And a lot of people say, but I need to get involved. I need to get caught up in the drama, because I'd be irresponsible if I didn't. And how can I be at peace when there's so much stress in the world? How can I be at peace when I know people are really in states of anxiety and suffering in the world? And the question is, how does that help? How does you not being in a state of peace help the world? Answer that question to yourself. How does me being caught up in the drama and concerned and worried about the world of suffering out there, how does that help the world out there? And the answer is it doesn't. It doesn't at all. But by you being at peace, that does help alleviate the pain and suffering in the world, because of this field of energy through which we all connected. And it's the mind. It's to recognize the mind that will make every excuse in the world for you not to be at peace, because the mind doesn't want you to be at peace, because the mind is about agitation. It's about contrast. It's about judgment. That's what the mind is all about. And the mind wants to absorb your focus, your energy, because the mind gets its energy from you, from the real you. And so the more it can attract your attention, the more empowered the mind becomes. So the mind will think of many, many excuses why you cannot be at peace and at ease in this moment. Why you need circumstances to be different to how they are now so that you can be at peace. And so it'll always be postponed to the future. And that lovely sign in that pub that says free beers tomorrow, and you go back tomorrow and you say, I want the free beers. But, it's always going to be tomorrow. So you're going to be at peace tomorrow. And that is the mind. That is the mind making peace an unattainable goal, which is based in time, and time is not real. The present moment is where your point of power is. You can only be at peace in the present moment. And so be aware of the mind, be aware of the mind's tricks, but you can be at peace in any given set of circumstance, as long as you disconnect your sense of self from that world and come into your true being, which is your true self. And then you actually empower another energy to come up through you and back into the world, creating greater levels of healing within this planetary field.
And I mean, that's where we can be of help and assistance when we're not caught up in it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you've got someone in struggle and chaos, you're not going to be any good if you jump into it with them. You can actually help by not jumping in and by being present for what's going on, for holding a space for them while they go through the chaos. Or if you need to do something and you need to take action, you're going to take a much wiser action if you're centered, as opposed to if you jumped into the fray with them. So, I mean, these are times that it's really, really, really calling on us to actually use these tools that we've accumulated over however many years you've been on this journey. And it's important to do it daily, minute by minute. That's what I'm finding. The more that I can actually bring myself back every single time I find myself going off into the drama, into the story, into the fear, into the anxiety. What's going to happen? How are we going to do it? Yes, there's that. There's the unknown, right, to bring it back. It just makes life so much easier. So there's so much less suffering.
There's no suffering in the present moment. The suffering occurs because you're not present. If there's any suffering in you right now, it's because you're not fully accepting of the isness of this moment. And if your life if your external life circumstances are not in chaos at the moment, if they are actually perfectly acceptable to the mind, that's the time to practice exactly what we're speaking about, presence. Because if you can make it your default mode, so while circumstances are easy, practice presence. Continue during the day, come back to presence. How present am I in this moment? So that when the drama does happen in your life, you have already practiced presence to the extent that it now becomes your default mode of being. And you might get slightly pulled into the drama for a moment, and then you awaken and you remember, come back to presence, come back to presence. This time that we're going through right now is a process of awakening. And what is awakening? It's awakening from the dream of mind into the realization of being. That's really what. And being is only ever now. You're not being in the past, you're not being in the future, you can only be in the present moment. So this very vortex, the Lionsgate, is about amplification of the awakening process, which is your awakening to your true essence, which is being, which is presence.
I think you said something really key there as well. You said, if you find yourself going into it, then you awaken again. You awaken again. So it's not a one-time awakening. It's not, I was asleep and now I'm awake. I was asleep and now I'm enlightened. It isn't that. It's as you see it. Oh, yeah, I've gone back to sleep just for that moment. And I can awaken in that moment as well. That's where our power lies. So it's not to beat ourselves up when we go into the story. It's to just notice it. Yeah. Because the more we notice it, the more we can make a different choice. And say, no, I don't have to go back to sleep. I can awaken just in this moment. This is the only moment that there is that I can awaken in. Or I can choose to be asleep and be unconscious of everything.
The moment you become aware that you're asleep, that awareness is awake.
Then you're aware.
That's right. So the moment you become aware that you're not present, that awareness is presence. Exactly. Don't go make another story about why you weren't present, because then you're going back into the past again. Just the awareness, I wasn't present there. But the awareness is presence. So then you're back home again. There you go. And the more you practice that, the easier it becomes. Absolutely. So, as I said, when the chaos does hit you, you're able to step quite comfortably into that present moment where it becomes your default mode. It's how you live your life. You occasionally maybe get rocked, by a situation, but you come back to centeredness very much easier and very much quicker. And the people around you will benefit by that, by your peace. You will help them become more at ease.
It's also like the pendulum. That's another kind of analogy, that if you are sort of just being buffeted by all the external circumstances, that pendulum's going to be swinging madly. And the more you start to bring it back slowly, you eventually start to, this is the default, as opposed to that. So instead of just swinging wildly, it swings a bit, and then you bring it back. And then it swings a bit, and you bring it back. So at the beginning, it might swing really wildly. And that's why I think that's why all these practices are called practices. They practice. It's practice. Each moment, you're practicing to bring yourself back.
So peace is a practice.
Peace is a practice. Well, yeah, I suppose peace is the result of the practice, but it is a practice, I suppose.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. It's not something that it
starts out as a practice. It starts out something almost like a doingness.
Yeah.
But in fact, true peace is a recognition of beingness. It's just a recognition. As Michelle said earlier, it's a stepping back into. It's not actually a reaching for something outside of yourself. It's not an achievement. Peace is not an achievement. It's a recognition of what is always here. It's the awakening. It's the awakening from the dream of mind into the realization of what is already here. And that is peace. And there's a law in the universe that says whatever you put your attention on, whatever you focus on, you give energy to, and it expands, it grows. So the mind is very, very good at focusing on what is wrong in your life. It's very good at focusing on what is wrong with the world, what is wrong with the other people, what's wrong with you. And if you use your conscious attention to steer yourself back to what is right with this particular moment here and now. Yes, there's a lot maybe that can be criticized, but what is right in this particular moment? Focus on that, because that will expand within your awareness. You are giving it energy, so it expands within your attention. But because the world is built in this holographic way, and we know from quantum physics that energy is non-local. So as you see what is right in this moment, that actually does influence the physical world around us. Don't ask the media to give you permission to feel at peace, because it's not the media's job, because the media's job is to sell you stuff.
Drama.
And when we are agitated, we go retail therapy. We go and buy. That's what the agitated personality does. They acquire, they always hold and grip onto more and more and more and more. A peaceful person will consume very little. Very little. You don't need much in this world. You really don't. And so the media's job is to turn you into great consumers. So I would just suggest withdraw your attention, your energy from the media that agitates you, and rather step into those platforms that take you closer to being, closer to peace, closer to ease, because then you become that heightened energy for true transformation to take place on this beautiful planet.
And this is transformation. And it's also about power, because where is our power? And, power is right here, right now. That's where it resides. And I think one of a useful tool is to actually just sit quietly and say, where does your power go on any given day? Draw a pie graph and say, how much time do you spend thinking about that, the future, the past, your job, the country? Just get an idea of how much time you actually spend in different places, which is actually what you're doing is we're taking our power and we're sending it out there. So if we're thinking about the future and a worry that we've got and a concern we've got, we're actually literally sending our power there. And then we're sending 20% of our power there and 50% of our power there, and we've got maybe 10% left for fueling what we actually want to do in this moment and what we want to create.
Yeah.
And I remember Carolyn Mace saying, if you're trying to create something new, you need 100% of your power, not 10%. So if your power is being sent on all these missions, what have you got left to actually use in this moment? And it's a really interesting question to ask. Where am I sending my power in this moment? Where are my thoughts going in this moment? And then you can bring them back, because you can see, no, I'm not going to send it there. That's a bit of a fool's mission. It's a wild goose chase. I'm going to go through the same old story, and I'm going to come back to square one. So no, I don't have to go down that road. It's very empowering, because then that brings you back to the power point, which is now. And that's what this is about. This is about us practicing this so that we can actually be the change. We can be those light sources. We can emanate that peace, love, whatever we hold as what we would like to ripple out into the world. And this is a powerful time to do it. Now, right now, today and tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. This process of awakening is a process of empowerment. And if you think of it that, we've spoken before about it, if we're given anywhere between 40 and 70,000 thoughts a day to think. And each one of those thoughts is actually a brick, which creates your reality. And do you consciously use each one of those to build the house that you want with those thoughts? Or is there some other energy that's directing you and you end up with an absolute mess? That's not your intention, but it's your old programming that's creating that. So just think about it. If you have an average of, say, 60,000 thoughts a day, where are you investing those particular thoughts? Because each thought is an energy. Which world are you building with your very own thoughts? Are you focused on what's wrong with you? Are you focused on what's wrong with your partner or the world around you? Or are you building something beautiful? And awareness brings power. That's what it does. The power to choose a new reality. Yes, the current situation and circumstances that we find ourselves in as a species is a result of previous thinking. But we don't have to drag that into the future. We don't have to make our past our future. We can choose in this very moment, here and now, different thoughts, different feelings. And we can start to choose, as I said, we can start to choose to draw our thoughts and our feelings from the basket of love rather than the basket of fear. The basket of fear is about judgment, it's about separation, it's about expectation. The basket of love is about acceptance, allowing, and most importantly, about appreciation.
And we have a choice in every moment. So, and it is self-inquiry. And a lot of, many people out there don't want to do self-inquiry. They'd rather blame the world for their unhappiness. Yeah. And when you start to awaken, you start to realize that you create your reality. So then it's self-empowering and it's also self-responsibility. So you notice, you say, I really do have that. I still go into criticism, or I go into negativity, or I see the glass half empty. That's interesting that I'm doing that. And when you notice that, you can then make a different choice. Until you're aware of that, you're asleep to it. You don't even know. You don't even know that you're caught up in that negative stuff because you're in it. You're in the storm. So it's only when you actually pull your energy back from that you can actually see it and go, I'm doing that. That's not useful. That's not serving anyone. I'm going to bring it back. So that's the practice, isn't it?
Yeah, and you're bringing it back from the circumference of the wheel to the center of the wheel.
Yeah.
In the center, there is stillness. In your center, there is always stillness because it is your true state. It's your real being is stillness. It's your divine self. The divine self is the stillness. It's the womb of all of creation. But we have been pulled away by all the color and glitter and noise of the external world, and we've forgotten who we are. So this process of awakening is really a process of remembering who and what we really are, moment to moment to moment to moment. Don't postpone it till tomorrow. There isn't a tomorrow. Make peace your present moment state, rather than some future projected state when circumstances suit your egoic mind.
Yeah, and what if these crises, these difficulties, these challenges are specifically to help us wake up? It's just another way of looking at it. Yeah. So instead of saying, I often note when I do charts and somebody says, when's it going to be over? Because that's what we want. We want peace. We want calm. We want our lives to go smoothly. We don't want challenge. We don't want pain. But what if we've actually signed up for this time of challenge so that we can awaken? Then you can see those situations that come into your life as an opportunity to awaken in this moment, as opposed to seeing it as something horrendous that shouldn't be happening. That's a shift in consciousness as well. Oh, this is something that could wake me up. Just this little challenge that I'm having, this unknown place that I'm in, or whatever it is. What if? And just ask, I love to put what if in front of a sentence. What if this was actually designed by myself and by the universe to help me wake up? How would I now deal with it? That's a very big question, because then you're not seeing it as a crisis.
Yeah.
You're not even seeing it as a storm necessarily. You're just seeing it as, it's life, it's energy moving around.
In other words, the difficult mother-in-law, the difficult partner or difficult boss are perfect for your own awakening. They've been created on purpose. That difficulty, that challenge has been created on purpose so that you can find your inner strength. That's what it's about. So you can find your true, authentic being and act from that. And that, this period that we're going through now is really taking the intellectual knowledge that we have and the mind stuff that we have and applying it to everyday situations and circumstances. And out of that application of knowledge comes wisdom. Yes. So the gift of these challenging times is wisdom, and wisdom can never be taken from you. Knowledge can be taken from you, but never wisdom. It actually becomes your true being.
Yeah. So what if we just see it as all helping us to wake up?
Yeah.
All helping us to raise our consciousness, as opposed to when's it going to end? When's it going to sort out? When's it all going to be calm and peaceful and wonderful? Because it isn't ever going to be on the outside. Nothing's ever going to be 100% calm and peaceful and wonderful on the outside, I don't believe, because there's always going to be dark and there's always going to be light. There's always going to be challenges. There's always going to be ups and downs. It's just the way of life. So where is that point of power? Where is that place of peace? Because the longer we look outside for it, we're just going to not ever find it.
Yeah. It's in that center, in that point of balance. And talking of balance, we have a retreat coming up next month, a live, real retreat.
We do, a real retreat, a real person one.
Yeah. So we enjoy the online work, and we really value all those who attend our online courses. It's really beautiful, but nothing really supplants the beauty of a live retreat. So it's the 20th to the 25th.
You said we were doing on the solstice. It's the 23rd.
23rd. Yeah.
We're doing it on the summer, on the spring solstice.
Yeah, we've changed it by a week, by the way. We put it out by a week to coincide with the equinox.
Because that's the balance point.
Solstice.
That's
the equinox.
It's the equinox. Sorry, equinox, So it's the equal day and night, which is the balance point. So we're going to start it on that day. So it's a very powerful 23rd. Day. And it's balancing male and female. 23rd of September at Hogsback.
Yeah.
Which is spring. It's going to be spring in Hogsback.
And Hogsback in spring is truly, trually, truly beautiful. Yeah. And we're going to be focused on the male and the female energy and looking at the balance between them. And we've all got male and we've got masculine and feminine energy in us, all of us. And when they become unbalanced, that's when the chaos happens in our thinking, but also in our biology. Our hormones go out and things like that. So basically we're going to be looking for that balance and using practical exercise to bring that balance back between the yin and the yang.
Art, music, meditation, nature. And then what that does is it embeds it, because the more you do it we've got 4 days, it actually that pendulum starts to swing. So when you come out of there, you've got a deep root, which you then go from that place. Yeah. That's the way it works.
Yeah. It's a wonderful place for anchoring presence and peace into your energy field. And that will definitely benefit those around you. Yeah. So our details are on our website. We're having problems today with our website.
Yeah, it's down at the moment, but we'll let you know when it's up.
Yeah, it should be up again tomorrow, hopefully. Journeys of Awakening, and the details. And you can email us or message us if you want details of that Hogsback retreat.
Yes, please do that, just in case you can't get in.
But you can retreat.
Retreat yourself.
Retreat yourself and come to
Step
mix
back
with us live in Hogsback. It's a beautiful place, my favorite place on earth.
Me too. I love it.
Yeah. Right. So thank you for being with us tonight. You're going to lead us out with a meditation, and then we're going to choose an affirmation card. Yeah, we've got okay, we've got a whole lot over here, a lot of affirmation cards. So you're going to just choose one.
Yeah, let me choose one. Let me not look. Let's see. There we go.
That's a perfect one.
Okay. All right.
The affirmation we've chosen is one that'll take you straight into the center of that wheel.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. So stick around for that one.
Okay, let's just settle in. Settle back in your chair, or if you're lying down, make yourself really comfortable. And take a deep breath in. And then a releasing, letting go breath out. And another deep, beautiful breath in, all the way in, slow, deep, full breath. And then on the out breath, relax your shoulders and let it all go. Allow your shoulders to drop and to soften. Allow your hands to rest in a really comfortable, gentle position. And with each out breath, allow yourself to just smooth out. Just smooth out those lines on your forehead. Unclench your jaw. Release your neck. Send a beautiful calming wave of energy all the way down through, around your face, around your head, softening your scalp, down through your neck into your shoulders and your arms, into your hands. And send this soft, gentle wave of energy all the way through your body, into all your organs. Allow this energy to spiral down along your spinal cord, all the way down to your pelvic area and your hips, down into your legs. Allow your legs to just become heavy and relaxed, and into your feet. Imagine this energy going into the earth, becoming a beautiful root, a very big, beautiful taproot. I imagine the energy coming from above your head, going all the way down through your body, through your feet, and down into the earth, into this taproot. Now connect with your heart center. Imagine an infinity sign or an 8 on its side, meeting with the center of that 8, meeting in your heart center. Focus in, right in the middle of that 8. And as you do this, as you focus in to the right of the center, feel your energy opening and expanding. And the energy flowing from above your head all the way down through you and rooting you, grounding you, holding you safe, peaceful, connected, grounded. Connect in with that heart center. Allow your heart to soften. As you breathe into your heart and allow it to expand, imagine it was expanding on each in-breath, very gently. All your focus right into the middle. And imagine a beautiful, vibrant spark of light right in the middle of that heart center. And as you focus right in the middle of that heart center, you can say the words to yourself or just listen to the affirmation for tonight, which is simply, I am love. Breathe in those words. Breathe them into your heart. I am love. I'm centered, I'm peaceful. strong in the center. I am love. And as you allow these words to fill you up, the light just ripples out from your heart into the world, into your home, into any situations you might be dealing with, into your relationships, into your community, your country, the world, and beyond. And I imagine in your mind's eye, imagine all of us in this group on this call, standing together around the world, all emanating love from our heart center, joined by hundreds of thousands, maybe millions of other people, all doing the same, all simply radiating peace, love, light from our hearts. And knowing that however stormy the weather gets, this peace is always here. It's only a few breaths away. So just feel the peace that you feel. Feel the connection that you feel. In this moment. I am love. Keep bringing yourself back to the midpoint, to the center, to your breath. If thoughts arise, just notice and gently bring yourself back. If sensations arise, notice them and bring yourself back to the middle. To that light spark right in the middle of you, right in the center of your heart. Carry this energy into your evening, into your sleep, into your day tomorrow, and into your week. Just feel the gratitude that we have for this moment spent together. Take a deep breath in. Releasing breath out. And another deep, deep, beautiful breath in. And out. And if you feel like it, you open your eyes. And if you don't have to.
Carry on sleeping.
We'd love to know how that was for you though. And if you have any comments, we'd love to hear them.
Yeah, thank you for your comments and thank you for your hearts as always. Yeah. And the card that Michelle pulled randomly is interesting because it's concentric circles. Most of the affirmations are a plain color. But this one, which she just pulled randomly out of the pack, has those circles. So staying centered right in the middle, and that's where love is, right in the center. Remember, love is always here in the center. And love never leaves us, we leave it. Peace never leaves us, we leave it. So the more centered you are, the more present you are, the more connected to life you are. And life is love and peace. Thank you for being with us tonight. If you want to know more about the Hog's Back Retreat, then please email us or message us.
I'll just direct message us or leave a message and we'll come back to you.
Yeah. Okay. Lots of love. Have a good week and enjoy the 8-8, the Lions Portal.
Yes.
Okay.
Lots of love, everyone.
Be mindful. Be present.